Hello YouTube, this is Cheklos here. Today I'm going to start a part series that is going to take us through how to make a video game. The video game I'm going to be making is going to be like a tank game, so you'll be driving a tank and then your opponent will be also driving a tank and you'll be in like an arena type setting and you'll be shooting each other. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to go for. As we progress, we might add maybe multiplayer server capabilities. We can play around with that. We can also add multiple weapons, different arenas, things like that nature. Right now I'm just starting Unity. I've just clicked all the assets because I always import them right away just in case you might need them. You can re-import them when you have a project, but I just import them right away, and then after, if I'm ever going to publish the game, I just get rid of the assets that I don't need to save on memory. So here we go. It just comes up with this default looking screen. I use 2x3. If you want to look at some of my other tutorials, on my other game tutorial, it kind of goes over the basics of hierarchy, project, inspector, console, the basic windows of the game, and whatnot. So, let's get started. First, we'll just create kind of a playing area. We'll just throw a plane in here and center it out. I'm not on my dual monitor because I've noticed it's laggy when I use it, and I also use Unity. So I'm just going to stick with one monitor today and see how it goes. We're just going to make a cube, center this out, and the plane's going to be our playing area, and our cube is going to be our tank. We're not going to make it this boxy, we're going to make it kind of shorter and then not as wide, so it's kind of like this elongated looking shape. So that's going to be our base, and then we need to know what way it's facing, so we'll just go ahead and throw a cylinder, rotate it 90, zero it out again, bring it up, scale the X down to say 0.2 and the Z down to 0.2, and then just scale the Y down 0.4, 0.5, 0.5 about works. Just move it out, and then we'll just parent it to the cube. The cube will be tank, cylinder will be what's it called, muzzle? Is that, I don't think that's what it's called on a tank. Barrel maybe. Right, so there we have our meant to save scene, and we'll just do test scene. So there we have our tank. And I don't think our tank is actually on the ground. Should be, since it's half scale, to be resting on the ground. It will be 0.25. But we're going to go ahead and throw a rigid body component on here. And we're going to add some constraints on the X and Z axis because we don't want it tilting. We don't want it tilting these ways right here. Or this. We only are going to go the Z-axis. So, zero this out again. Let's get to some script writing. I'm just going to create a folder called scripts, better organization, and then we'll do this, and we'll just do tank movement. Go ahead and open it up. Again, I use Unisite for my basic scripter. And down here, we're going to add some variables. We're just going to set some variables. I opened up a script that I've made already. I reuse most of my coding. There's no point to rewrite it twice. So, move speed, I think like point, I don't know, 0.1 will work. And then turn speed, I don't know, say like 5-ish. See how that works. And then I'm just going to copy some basics code I'll go over these in a second. I'm just gonna get them in here. We're not going to be using the exact code here. No. Alright. So, we're going to do if, or actually, first, we're going to do debug.log, and then we're going to do Input.GetAxis, and I believe Unity's default up and down is vertical, I think. You can just go into the project settings, input, axes, and it's capital vertical. Let's just go in here and change that. There we go. Seems that we have an error, and it's because this is probably outside. No. There we go. So now if we play this, and if we attach our script to the tank, you can go ahead and play this. And then you can see, and now if I'm hitting W, which is vertical, it'll be 1, and if I'm hitting S, it'll be negative. So it's the same thing with the up and down. I'm hitting the up and down arrows right now. So that is good. So now what we're going to do is if Input.GetAxis vertical is greater than or equal, no, I think we can just do this actually. This is what we're going to do. This transform position script, right here, we can just get rid of that and put a plus in, and then we'll get this Input.GetAxis, and then we'll just throw it in here and times it, and that should work good. Yeah. So now if we go in here, let's add a little more to here on our main camera. Let's add a component and go down to camera control, smooth follow. Down here to our target, just attach the tank and just leave the defaults. Let's go in here, create object, and just get some light in this scene. Dumb it down a little bit, it's kind of bright, and go ahead and hit play. So now if we hit, we're not moving very fast, as you can see. Transform tabs, move speed. As you see, if I am holding, you can see the number. It is moving, but it's not moving very fast. Let's go ahead and crank up the move speed. See what that does. Whoa, whoa, whoa! I think we found our problem. Let's put this up to maybe 3-ish. So there we go. We can move forward and back. We can set certain settings later, but right now 3 is fine. We're gonna do the same thing down here, and it's pretty much, I'll go over the script. It's saying transform position is equal to, this is our, if the button is down and if it is forward or backwards. Transform forward is the direction, it's a vector 3 of what way our object is facing. Move speed is our simple variable controlling how fast we move, and then time delta time is it's the amount of time per frame. So I know why 0.1 wasn't working, which makes sense to me now, but we don't need to go over that, so we're good. The next one, transform Euler angles Y, is just the simple Euler, the angles, and right here we can just do plus and then minus. Get rid of this, throw a times in here, copy this Input.GetAxis, throw it down here, and change this with horizontal. Did I spell it right? Probably not. I am a horrible, horrible speller. Horizontal. There we go. I'm kind of embarrassed by that. So, let's go in here and see how that works. If we go to our console or input, as you can see, our angles are changing, but again, I believe our turn speed is just too low. So there we go. So I think, let's try it. That's too slow. I think 75 is going to be our best bet here. So we'll just throw 75 in here, and we'll change this. So if we use the script for another object, default is 75. Alright, so there we have that going for us. So now, if we go ahead and play this, we can move around. We can move our tank around. We can go backwards, forward, and whatnot. Next, what we're going to do is we want to shoot. Tank shoot. So, we are going to use spacebar as our basic thing. And defaults, we're just going to use our Input.GetAxis, or no, it's get button, and we're going to do up. Yeah, we'll do up. And by default, the spacebar is already bounded to the script or the input jump by Unity, so just use jump. I mean, you can change it to shoot if you really want to lose confusion, but I know jump is spacebar, so I use jump. And what we're going to do here is if the get button up, so if spacebar is up, we are going to instantiate a variable, and I'm just going to go find a script that already has the basics code, so I'll be right back. Alright, so I found the script, and then I just copied it and pasted it right there. So what this script is going to do, first we're going to have to do, we're going to make a variable called bullet spawn, and then we're going to do transform, and we're going to create a game object that's going to be our bullet spawn point, so our muzzle point. Next, we're going to create a variable called bullet prefab, if I can spell it right. Oh boy. There we go. And this is also going to be a transform. So down here, we're just creating a variable called variabullet, and that's just going to store our values for the object we are creating. So instantiate is instantiating or creating or copying or duplicating a game object that is defined by bullet prefab. Next, we need to set the position that we're going to duplicate this object at, and this is going to be bullet spawn dot position. And then bullet spawn dot transform dot rotation is just the basic rotation of the bullet spawn. Pretty simple. Next, we are going to change this, and we're just going to do bullet dot rigid body dot velocity equals transform dot forward times bullet speed. And I will define bullet speed up here. We'll just do 4 for now. I don't exactly know the exact variable. So save that, minimize this. So we're going to have to create a few things. We're going to have to create an empty for bullet spawn. And we're just going to move this right in front of the barrel. Next, we're going to select the barrel, and we're going to drag our bullet spawn to there and just call it bullet spawn. And also what we're going to do is we're going to go to barrel, and we're going to remove this capsule collider. We don't need it. We can add it later, but with this bullet spawn, sometimes the bullet's just going to hit it. So for right now, we're just going to get rid of it so we don't have to deal with it. And in our tank script, we're just going to drag bullet spawn over here. Next, we're going to need to get make a bullet. So we'll just not add an empty. We'll add a sphere and try 0.2 on for size. That's the same size as the bullet or the barrel, so that's fine. Just call it bullet for now. Drag it into our project, and that makes it a prefab. And then we can just drag it down to bullet prefab. So let's go ahead and try this script out. As you can see, the bullet is just standing there. And the reason for that is because in our script we're calling a rigid body of the bullet, and our bullet doesn't have a rigid body. So go ahead, attach a rigid body, and there we go. It's moving. But as you can see, we obviously need to up the bullet speed. There we go. Go from a side view. Oops. So there we go. As you can see, our bullets are dropping. Oop. When you hit spacebar, it enlarges the frame. So our bullets, our gravity affects it, and we don't really want gravity to affect our bullets. Because then they lob, and long-range shooting with tanks and stuff like that is not really what we're going to go for. We're kind of going for a cartoony look of a tank game, so that should work a lot better. So the opponent can see the bullet coming, but we want it so he can kind of miss it if he really tries, but he can't. I don't know. It's gonna be your game ultimately, so create however you want. I'm just gonna stick with this speed. I can always change it later. And then as you can see, you can literally shoot as fast as your spacebar goes, but we can also make a script for an auto fire, so you could just hold down the spacebar and it would shoot. I'm not going to create that right now. I'm actually going to end this part of the tutorial. This is going to be part 1 of our tank game. We'll figure out a better name later on. Subscribe, like, and this playlist will gradually get bigger and bigger as time goes on. And have a nice day.